Hi, I'm Rosemary Jean Thompson, and welcome to UBC's Next Big Thing. Today I have two guests. I have Dr. Ty Binfet, who is the Assistant Professor in the Faculty of Education, and your sidekick, Frances.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, I'm so glad you could make it. Frances is actually an active part of the classroom. You take her into the classroom with you and help teach future teachers, actually.
Exactly. She comes with me all over campus, and she's in lectures, and I put her to work. She's very utilitarian in what I do, and so I teach a class on behavior management and creating positive classroom environments for students. And so my students, who are future teachers, will actually practice different techniques using Frances in the classroom.
Now, how would that work?
Well, they might identify behavior that we would teach her, and we do this thing in behavioral theory where we look at approximations and shaping. So we don't wait in the classroom for students to do the perfect, wonderful manifestation of the behavior, but we look for these little approximations. And so they'll train Frances, and then they'll shape and they'll reward and they'll practice on Frances things that we might do in a classroom. And it's more the methodology that they hone their skills. And overwhelmingly, they just rave about the experience.
How long have you been doing this?
This is her third cycle of this class, so she's kind of experienced in this whole endeavor.
How did you even come up with the idea to bring a canine into the classroom?
You know, I don't know how that came around. I just, I knew needed a lot of stimulation. And so I could see, I was training her to be a therapy dog, and she had done her practicum with students with traumatic brain injury. And so I knew she was good with students. So I just started bringing her to the campus in Los Angeles, and that seemed to work really well. And then once she was certified as a therapy dog, I more extensively worked her into my work.
How did you meet Frances?
You know, I'm not really a big dog person, to tell you the truth, and so she sort of stumbled.
Oh, don't take that personally.
Yeah, she stumbled into my life. She's a rescue off the freeway in Los Angeles, and was in dire need of some TLC, and so she found her way to me, and she's just been just great. She's been wonderful.
So for a person who doesn't like big dogs,
yeah,
what was the training experience with her like?
I was reminded constantly that I was the impediment to her progress.
Oh, really?
So she really is quick and a quick study, and it was me who had to kind of, you know, despite all my training in education, had to kind of just rethink and slow things down. And and it's really about consistency with Frances. And so we practice every day, something on campus or somewhere out in the field. We'll just do work, and so it's a constant work in progress. But she's largely very well behaved and trained.
So this has really worked for you, having the dog in the classroom. You were saying that sometimes the students even come by your office, and you think it's mostly because of Frances. Why do you suppose that this kind of a technique in the classroom is working for students?
I think on a number of levels. I think having her in the classroom, it contributes to this overall climate that really just reduces stress for students. She has a relationship with my students that's sort of independent of my relationship with them. And that's kind of interesting to watch them, that sort of dynamic. So she contributes to the overall climate of the classroom. And then in terms of instruction, she actually is sort of great training ground for the students to learn different or practice different techniques in a safe way.
Do you see an opportunity in the future with this type of training technique?
I don't know, because she's so sort of unusual, and I certainly get a lot of sort of queries and questions from other folks saying, wow, what's this dog doing in that classroom, and all that kind of stuff. So other professors will sort of ask me about that. But I am involved in an interesting project where I'm bringing St. John's Ambulance therapy dogs here on campus. There'll be 10 of them for 8 weeks starting in January, and we're working with first-year students here around the idea of connectedness to campus, social connections with other students, and the dogs are the catalyst for that. So we know there's this long history of research where dogs facilitate great things, great positive things for the social emotional well-being of people, and so I'm looking to move in an empirical way to examine that more closely.
You mentioned that you had found Frances on the freeway in Los Angeles, so you're actually from there and haven't been here that long. Talk about that transition for you.
It's been interesting moving to Kelowna and being welcomed here at UBCO. I've enjoyed my experience so far. I drive in purposely every day on this innovation way, and I'm reminded that my job is to think in a different way here. And so I do that in my work, in my research, and in my teaching. And so I think Frances illustrates that in my teaching. In my research, I'm moving in innovative ways and looking at kindness in children is my specialty area, and then with animal-assisted therapy and helping students sort of in their adjustment to university life. So I really appreciate that opportunity here at UBCO.
Well, we're so glad you come to us, and we like Frances.
Yeah,
You can come back anytime, okay?
she likes it here as well.
We'll talk to you again and find out how things are going.
Thank you.
And that wraps it up for this session. Until next time, I'm Rosemary Jean Thompson. Have a great day.